Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Daytona International Speedway for the Corsair Duel Races. Second year in a row we're doing this. Third year in overall history for the NRSL Digital Storm Cup Series. Getting ready to set the field for the 2022 Daytona 500. And Vince Freeze has joined me once again in the booth.
That's right. We got a little sugar rush going on the front row, a little Red Bull, a little M&M. I expect this to be a very interesting duels act. We got a lot of female drivers here, but we also got a lot of people who are in different agendas. Go or go home. It's time to go versus people locked in. What's the setup like? It's at night versus day in the qualifying. Definitely a lot to look forward to here tonight.
Diego Yepes will start on the pole. First time a Toyota has ever done so in the Digital Storm Cup Series for the Daytona 500. As long as he finishes the car. Doesn't have to be lead lap. You just got to finish it. And you're good to go. Brent James is to his outside. James is the first car in line to make it in on speed if he needs to. Derek Hamill, Amanda Evans, row 2. Hamill is third in line, or the final driver locked in on speed, regardless of where he finishes. Baranowskis is the other one. She is in duel number 2, as I believe Baranowskis is the only female driver not in this duel race. We'll get to the rest of the starting lineup in a bit. Let's go trackside for the command. Let's go through the rest of the starting grid. Row 3, Levi McIntyre, Priya McShane. Row 4, Scott Roush and Zach Flickinger. Row 5, Stephen Colon, Dylan Young. Row 6, Ace Rogers, Colt Deaver. Row 7, Keith Rich, Colt Hudson. Row 8, Allison Rain, Zachary Fitzwater Sr. Row 9, Logan Williams, Andrew Rich. Row 10, actually I got my rows mixed up. Row 9 is William Brock and Logan York. Row 10, Alex Ferranti, Jessica Shelton. No, I did have them right. Jesus, I am all over the place, guys. You think I'm the one who's awake? Ferranti, Shelton, Nate Rogers, Seth Cole, Nico Tringali, Vince Freeze. That's 13 rows. I can't count. We're going racing for 20 laps. This is what happens when you record after work versus in the middle of Saturday morning. Your brain can't function.
Already starting 3 wide though. So Yepes came off to a good start. Let's see how that outside line prevails. I think it'll be more at the end of the race when the tires start to wear, but the inside should, yeah, a little bit more lined up as we see 3 wide though with Rich, it looks like.
So as a reminder, all the cars that were top 30 in owner points last year are locked into the race. Where they finish just determines where they're going to start as far as 3rd to 38th goes. If you are a go or go home car, top 4 make it in on top 4 make it in at a finishing order, and the other 4 make it in on speed. Now, those 4 that make it in on speed, that includes the 18 of Diego Yepes. So if Yepes does not finish top 4 out of the go or go homers, he will make it in on speed. RJ Bishop, however, in Duel 2, he's a top 30 car. So it's a bit of a different situation over there, but I mean that doesn't really. Dual Tool doesn't determine whether Yepes has to get in on speed or not. I don't know what I'm talking about over here. I'm tired.
3 wide extra at the middle of the pack. You see Hamill, Yepes. They're going to play a little bit of sidetrack, playing some aero games. That's what you want to do in the early stages. As you see, he's got some help from the outside with James, and it's like the teammates there, 63-53 Bulldogs on the bottom, and Yepes will take the lead, though.
They're getting in the wall there a little bit on the top of the track going into the tri-oval. I'm not sure what that's about. They're getting in the wall again going into turn 1.
Yeah, I saw that. I think that's running out of racetrack, but there should be enough room. I guess these guys are starting to push up a little bit.
You can see the top side really has the runs here this year as Yepes starting to pull away with that huge run. Brent James trying to make the top side work. He's got help from Scott Roush. Let's see if they hit the wall here again. It looks like they're fine this time, so I'm not sure what that was about. last
Ooh,
time. Brett
Roush.
James almost got put 4 wide there by Roush. Now Yepes finds himself in the middle. Right now, your top 4 go-go homers would be Yepes, Hamill, James, and I believe Scott Roush there in the 6. These drivers will not have to pit here in the dual races.
Ferranti on the inside. There's Rich, Big, Brock, Rogers, all strong cars on the inside line. Can they overpower Yepes, though?
You got Keith Rich there on the bottom, and his father Andrew a car behind Alex Ferranti. And remember, our dual winners last year were Colt Hudson and Allison Rain, so Bulldog Motorsports looking to get another dual win. The 18 won its dual race way back in 2017 when Tony Green drove the car. Joshua Sekuli in the 31 for Richard Childress won that other dual race back then. So far, every team that's won a dual race just has the one dual win. That's Richard Childress Racing, Joe Gibbs Racing, Evans Gardner Motorsports, and Bulldog Motorsports. So some of those teams trying to get win number 2 as we are looking at 4 wide. More cars hitting the wall off the corner. Oh, Ferranti and Keith Rich are not lined up the way they should be. Can Ferranti get enough of a run to jump in front of Andrew? No, he cannot. And Keith slides up. That makes it 3 wide coming out of turn 2. Andrew Rich is being aggressive tonight. He's won a Daytona 500 before. He knows what it means to start at the front versus having to worry about missing the wrecks in the back.
Comes William Brock, though. We know how good he was in Armory Digital last year.
Look at the run Keith Rich got off of turn 4. Andrew Rich tried to jump up and block him, but the run was coming and he had to jump back to the middle.
The inside lane is stronger in 3 and 4, but the outside prevails at the exit of 4. Now it's 3 by 3 by 3 by 3.
Remember, Vince, it was 90 degrees the other day in the daylight. We're here at night. It's a cool 72. These guys are flying.
Yeah, cooler temperatures. You expect the car's engine to be much better. You see everyone is a little bit more racier with the grip. As you see Brock and Rogers, now they're going to keep it in line. Everyone should keep it in line back there.
Oh, McIntyre nicked the wall. Oh, that Roush nicked the wall with him. They're just trying to arc it into the corner there on the top and use as much of the track as possible, and some of them are just not getting it right, but I mean, they're not costing themselves that much time. It's just a little scrape, but Rain is going to jump in the gap in front of McIntyre. As now Keith Rich moves down to the middle, and that opens the door for Yepes on the top. Going to use our nice spectator camera. This camera is going to be great to watch the runs at the end of races. You know, we always use this camera when it comes time for a finish. So far, Vince, the 12 car has just stayed at the back of the field, unable to do anything. I'm not sure if they've got a problem or what the case is. He is up to speed.
Just avoiding the big one. It's gonna. I think that's the strategy. We're locked in the race. Why make a dumb mistake? Just play it cool.
The car is up to speed. I think just starting at the back in this dual race and maybe just didn't get down to the bottom fast enough has prevented him. He's not losing touch, but it's prevented him from getting right back up to somebody's bumper. And he's running the top. So you see on the bottom they're going about 200. He's doing about 202 there in the middle. But it's Keith Rich, Andrew Rich, and William Brock leading the lanes here now on lap number 10. Talked about that top side, Vince. What do you think? It looks pretty strong.
The tires wear out should be better, but let's see what... Right, here we go. I talked about that in the pre-race show, right? Rich, what's he going to do? How's he going to block all these lanes? This is what a lot of people like to see. You're the Pied Piper. Which do you control? You go Yepes up top here, the 18, got 23 help coming, and William Brock on the inside. It's like Rich is going to block Yepes and stay in the middle.
Andrew Rich is gonna put his car about in the middle of the bottom and the middle. Yepes stays up the top with Brent James behind him. As Keith continues to hold on, playing the lanes, Keith looking for a dual win. It would be a non-points win, but it would be technically his first Digital Storm Cup Series victory. Of course, it would not go in the record books as a career win, but it would be something to look back on as Joshua Sekuli, Tony Green, and Colt Hudson currently look at those dual wins as their only quote-unquote Cup Series of victories. Of course, Green and Sekuli not racing this year, and we haven't seen Tony Green in a year or two, actually. We saw Sekuli last year in Cup, I want to say, but nowhere to be found this year. And it's the Rich father and son duo at the front of the field, Vince. By the way, Ace Rogers and Colt Hudson are also in this dual race, so all 4 Bulldog Motorsport cars in the same duel. Of course, Andrew, Keith, and Ace are all locked in. Hudson has got to find a way to the front and race his way in, as he is well down the list of go homers.
You know, rubbing doors with Ferranti. I think Nate Rogers wants to make a move on Brock, and you see him peeking the nose right there, but they're going to stay tucked in.
And man, Diego Yepes has done a good job at staying at the front of the field. Him and Brent James together have been just riding the top this entire time, and they haven't gone backwards at all. It's been very difficult to pass Vince as well, from the looks of things.
Yeah, his package at night seems to be very... Everyone can stay in a lane. There's no handling really involved. It's more floor it and see which one has the most energy. You see Rich is going to go up to the top to block Yepes, as Andrew is going to have to fight off Brock, and Ferranti would help in the middle. Now, what does Yepes do? Does he make the move? He's going to go to the outside, but Brent's going to ditch him.
Brent ditches him to go to the middle in front of Alex Ferranti. Yepes made a bit of a weird move there going into turn 3, but he still gets a run off of turn 4. 7 laps to go in Corsair Duel number 1, as you see more cars just kind of trying to push it all they can. They're just nicking the wall. And now Brent James is going to lead the middle line as Andrew Rich is on the bottom. See, Logan Williams in the 11 is going to ditch the bottom for the middle. Seth Cole was looking to maybe follow, but he can't get up there. And now Hudson and Freeze are together at the back, single file.
See, William Brock just keeps peeking his nose there. I wonder if he's timing this move for a late last lap gas, or something at the last 2 laps. But you see, look at this nice run from Brent James in the middle. And it looks like they're all going to be equilibrium as we enter 1.
And they were dead even there. 206 miles an hour for Keith Rich. They're coming out of the tri-oval. As they run there, looking at the scoring, it would be Brent James, Diego Yepes, Derek Hamill, and then Scott Roush racing their way in.
Yeah, everyone's still trying to...
Oh, Vince, here we go again. We might be going 4 wide again. Brock's peeking the nose. Rich is giving him the lane. I don't like that idea. Leaning doors, big time. Can Andrew get back down? He does.
He's good. I just think the way his package is, Zach, last year that would have been a wreck in the day. The nighttime, it seems like everyone's given a little bit more patience, which is surprising. Now, what's this Rich do? He's going with Brent James, has a big run in the middle, and Keith on the outside. You see, Yepes has been the best pusher all night, I have to say.
There's a bit of a gap there behind Yepes, too. Ace Rogers is third car on the top. It's going to hurt the top side run, I think, just a little bit because Ace is not right there glued. Oh, they are all in the wall. That Yepes was in the wall there, too. Keith still got it at the line, but 4 to go. Ferranti's going to jump to the top. Ditching Brent James, Ferranti jumps to the top side.
I don't understand that move here, Ferranti. I would have stuck. Now, William Brock, I've told you, he's been setting this up for the last couple laps. He needs to make the right time, right move. Looks like he's going to lose some help there for
Nate
Rogers. Now it's
Rogers.
going to be Shelton.
Nate Rogers just jumped up to the middle to help Brent James, who's driving his old ride from a couple seasons ago. That moves Shelton up to third on the bottom. That's not really affecting the go or go home picture, as the next car behind Scott Roush is, I believe, I'm not sure who it is. I think it's Hudson and McShane. There's actually not a lot of go or go homers in this duel race here, Vince, and that's just luck of the draw too.
Andrew Rich is the strongest out front. The thing is, Brent James seems to get the run. It's going to be an even chess match. Now he's going to go to the middle. What does William Brock do? Does he have help from Shelton? Yes, but looks like William Brock might get forced from Shelton 4 wide.
Shelton's going to make it 4 wide. I cannot believe we're doing this again. We're going to be coming to 2 to go. If they were to wreck,
Zach.
If they were to wreck here, it would probably end this duel race. They are still green. Rich leads. 2 to go. Oh, they are very tight. This is not going to work. Shelton clears them. Now York is on the inside of Brock. Now Rich is up top 4 wide.
Can't believe they're making this work. This is incredible. Here comes Seth Cole in that bye. Gotta do it once.
Oh, man. Now York moves up to the middle to block the 9 and the 19. That opens the door for Seth Cole. We're seeing the most passing all race because of this 4 wide situation. Can they make it? Can they make it to the white? Look at Cole Deaver and Amanda Evans on the bottom. Oh, they're rubbing doors. Shelton in the wall. White flag in the air for Corsair Duel number 1. And there they go, wrecking after the start-finish line.
Did they take this checkers, though?
No, they're going to go race back.
Oh, Yepez. I think he's all right, though.
Fitzwater with heavy damage. Scott Roush was involved. Brent James was involved. And more, but to the finish. Cole Deaver leads it. With help from Amanda Evans, Zach Flickinger. Fitz Freeze went from last to 5th in the span of a few laps. Does Flickinger have anything for Cole Deaver? No. And in what has been over 2 years, Deaver will finally see victory lane again. It won't be an official points-paying record-booking win, but Deaver wins Corsair Duel number 1. Now the question is, who raced their way into the field? First go-home car I'm seeing across the line is Colt Hudson in 12th place. Diego Yepes in 13th will keep his pole. Logan Williams, his teammate, 14th, third one in. And the last driver in by a 1/10 of a second is going to be Derek Hamill. Which means Brent James is definitely going to get in this thing on speed. Other go-home drivers that didn't race their way in include Priya McShane, Stephen Colon, Scott Roush. Those are the only other few here in this session. McShane was 7th out of the go-home drivers, so she's got a pretty good chance. Stephen Colon was 8, 9, 10th, so he is not going to make it. Because we have a lot of go-homers in this next duel race, Vince. Scott Roush was 1 go-home position up in 9th. He has the slimmest of chances. So he would need Baranowskis, Christian Russell, Christian Vargas, and Adam Flickinger. All 4 of those guys need to race their way in for Scott Roush to make the Daytona 500.
It's very slim, but it is Daytona after all.
So congrats on Corsair Duel win number 1 by Cole Deaver. We're going to take a look at the replay here and show you guys what just happened there to end this race, but everybody came across to finish it in the end. taking a look at the accident that occurred right after the white flag, and this four-wide situation, it was a miracle it had lasted so long. And you're going to see the 9 and 8 Rogers just creep down on the 19 a little too much. He had plenty of room up to the right, and that just gets them up into the 95, 02, and 23, and the wreck was on from there, Vince.
Yeah, you see everyone going in. Brent James and Tringali into Hamill now. It looks like Vince Freeze and Levi McIntyre just went to the apron there, just for extra assurance. As you see Fitzwater in the middle, he's going to get the most damage in this wreck, as he couldn't really. Oh, he just.
He turned down. He turned down when he should have stayed straight. It's right into the side of the 83.
I think Yepez actually does get involved from another angle. Let's see. He might have clipped it. Yep.
Yeah, he clipped the 95 just a hair. No noticeable damage, though.
That little quad right there from 93 of Cole Hudson.
A lot of drivers did not need that. Logan Williams ended up racing his way in there. He was the third car in. And then the drag race came down to the 32 and the 83. Let's watch this play out.
It's like horse racing. Here comes the 32 on the.
Actually, the 41 and the 47 were ahead at this point. It looks like the 41 had the transfer position, Vince. But Hamill's car was a little cleaner. And
83's coming.
And he got the draft. You see Brent James hauling the mail. Hauling the mail, but just not enough time. And he ended up filing it in line. But that cost McShane a transfer in. And she's going to have to hope that some other drivers race their way in versus getting in on time. It is down to her and Scott Roush. Roush needs Flickinger, Vargas, Russell, and Baranowskis to race in on position. McShane would need all of those I just mentioned except for Adam Flickinger to race in to make the race. So those two drivers. Let's take an onboard or two here for this wreck. On board with Andrew Rich. Not a lot of contact there. He got all stepped out and sideways, but he ended up keeping it going straight. On board with Fitzwater. Makes it through, and not so much. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back for Corsair Duel number 2. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're gearing up for Corsair Duel number 2 as RJ Bishop, who is primed to start second in the Daytona 500, is on pole for this duel race with 2021 Jerky Pro Truck Series champ Baranowskis on his outside. Peter Onjak and Christian Russell in row 2. Russell driving the car that won the 500 last season. Christian Vargas, Adam Flickinger, row 3. Charles Sanford, Jonathan Zorlin, row 4. Laura Chung, Smet Oskin, row 5. Richie Fogelman, Mason Dagger, row 6. Not trying to lose count again. Row 7 is Alexander Rowe and Trey Smith. Row 8 is Owen Miles and Bradley Ream, Yates Racing teammates on the same row. Row 9, Blaine Saylor and Roy Ribbleton. Row 10, Jesse Turner, Sebastian Kukulon. Row 11, Quinton Moore, Lane Sanders. Row 12, Henry Sanford and Kev Shearer. And in the final row is James Ellison and Jack Holton. I probably should have fact-checked if Ellison did miss the race last year or not, but I believe he did. But he doesn't have to worry. He's top 30 owner points. He's all set. So racing their way in through duel number 1 was Colt Hudson, Diego Yepes, Logan Williams, and Derek Hamill, which means Brent James is locked in on time. He'll get one of those 4 on-time positions, and that leaves 3 on-time spots remaining. We'll get to who could end up with those positions in a moment as we go trackside for the command to fire engines. Alright, so if Baranauskas, Christian Russell, Christian Vargas, and Adam Flickinger all race their way in, that would put Priya McShane, Scott Roush, and Stephen Colon into the race. I actually did not realize Colon actually has a chance, because we let 4 cars in, not 3. So Cologne has the slimmest of chances. Anybody else below Cologne has to race their way in. That includes Laura Chung, Reggie Fogelman, Mason Dagger, Trace Smith, Owen Miles, Bradley Ream, Blaine Saylor, and more, such as Roy Ribbleton, Lane Sanders, and Jack Holton. Green flag is out, Vince. We made it all the way to lap 20 in duel number 1 before we had an accident, and it looks like RJ had a terrible start. Baranauskas gets out to the lead, and Onjak is making a move to Bishop's inside.
Yeah, you see Christian Vargas, Charles Sanford. Now they're going to watch this run. Onjak gets it. They stay in line. RJ just has no get up the speed time right now. He's got no startup side. Let's see what. No, as soon as we get to the shot. Yeah, Baranauskas controls. Onjak will go up with her, with him. Yeah.
Now we're both tired.
Yeah, it's a little tired, but we'll get it going once we start getting some action. Charles Sanford on the bottom.
And this is unprecedented, Vince. It might not be an official lap, but Baranauskas is going to lead her first lap in her first lap run, even if it's an exhibition race. That's pretty crazy.
In the 1 car.
In the 1 car at that.
Yeah, Delta Airlines probably happy that she keeps climbing the ranks here. But now what do? You have the Terminator behind you.
Yeah, before we get to the Terminator, that is Charles Sanford, I just want to mention that if the 4 drivers, Baranauskas, Russell, Vargas, and Adam Flickinger don't race their way in, going down to time, it would be Baranauskas, Russell, and Vargas in on time, as Brent James has taken up one of those positions. I'll tell you right now, Vince, this number 1 machine looks hooked up.
You got a former Daytona winner on Lauren Shug in the Truck Series. Don't count her out. We know she knows how to get it done here.
Now, Diego Yepes drove this car last year, and he's got a career win at this track. He's starting on pole, so, Yepes clearly knows something about this racetrack since he's won here before. I wonder if that knowledge was transferred to the Chip Ganassi team.
Wide?
And we are 4 wide, and they are going to back it out. Bradley Ream's going to jump back in the middle. But as I was saying, it looks like that information and knowledge stayed with CGR, because you've got Vargas, who was 10th out of all cars, and then Baranauskas, who was 4th. So think about that, Vince. Those 2 cars, 4th and 10th in Daytona 500 qualifying, and Yepes himself got the pole at Joe Gibbs. I mean, that's pretty crazy that's worked out for them this year.
The setup seems to have stayed the same as 21 and 22. Now, the only thing I will say is this duel seems to be a little bit more aggressive with the 4 wide early. We saw in that first duel it was a little bit more calm. You see Lane Sanders get shuffled to the middle there, and I think he's one of those go homers too.
Yes, he is. That's a new car, so that car has nothing but the speed. Well, not even speed to fall back on, because Lane placed, I think, 44th out of all drivers. So Lane's got to race his way in. But you might think right now it's lap 5, you've got nowhere to go. But just think about it, Vince. If that big wreck happens on the final lap and you are on the inside line, you are sitting pretty good as long as you don't get caught up on it. Because just remember, the 12 of Vince Freeze, while he wasn't halving the race in because he was locked in, he was last pretty much the whole duel race. Finally got to the bottom, was 11th at the line when the wreck occurred, and he just scooched his way by. Second to last car that got to scooch by before it was, I believe, Nico Tringali got clipped behind the 99 of McIntyre, who was behind the 12 of Vince Freeze. So you just got to play your cards right.
That's where you see him hitting the wall again. You see that as always. But here's the J-Zone, man. He's here. Looking to defend that 1 for this year. In case it'd be the 5, though.
Sorlin leading that bottom line. They are 2x2 right now, as Laura Chung is side by side with Trey Smith. Smith looking at his old ride to the inside line.
Of course, row there pushing.
Christian Vargas, of course, drove the 36. More drivers. They are just really freaking running it out there off the corner and trying to get the best arc into the tri-oval, Vince. They are, I mean, they're not losing a ton of speed, but you can see the cars jolt when they scuff the wall.
Yeah, I see it. Now, the question is, this is the similar situation. You're out front. Do you have to block 3 lines? You see Zorlin's in the middle, row on the top. I can't see who's in it. Oh, okay. Top to bottom move.
Trey Smith's going to make the top to bottom move. He has to race his way in. Adam Flickinger can... Well, if one of the 3 drivers ahead of him races in, Flickinger can rely on speed, but... Actually, no, because McShane would get in on speed. So Adam is pretty much in a race your way in position right now. He's got to race his way in. Unless, of course, he has 2 of the 3 ahead of him race their way in. That would be out of Baranauskas, Russell, and Vargas. If 2 of those 3 race their way in, I believe he would make it in on speed alongside McShane. Yep, that is correct. As we've stated, Brent James is set to go. He was second out of all go homers. Adam Flickinger looks like he's got a fast piece. Vince, go ahead.
Looks like Penske might be onto something here, Zach, with Oskin. He's doing the same Vince Freeze strategy.
Dylan Young was in the first duel race. You mentioned that, Vince. Oskin is chilling at the back. Peter Onjak has fallen all the way from the back after starting 3rd. They're falling to the back, I should say. RJ Bishop is back there as well. So going back to the first duel, Cole Deaver was the winner. That marked Chevrolet's 3rd dual race win. That leads all manufacturers. Toyota and Dodge have 1 apiece, so Ford has 0 right now, Vince, and they are top 2. But Zorlin is peeking his nose up the middle.
Yeah, he's being aggressive like the champ should. Now, what does Mason Dagger and Kev Shear do? They're trying to push Rowe, but they don't seem to have the... Well, we know Dagger doesn't have the experience in a plate situation, but Rowe definitely is carrying. As you see Trey Smith on the outside lose a little bit of steam. Now, ooh, Mason Dagger.
And Rowe's going to slide up. Smith gets in the wall. But Zorlin's going to be able to... Zorlin jumps up onto the top side. Adam Flickinger has taken this lead. He was challenged for a moment, and now he cannot be challenged again, it seems. Oh, but Zorlin might have a chance at him here. He is set up, pulling from the pack in the middle. Ten laps to go. That time by, it'll be 9 to go at the line. Baranauskas has not left the front of the field. As now Rose sits leading the middle lane. Dagger on the inside, his teammate Trey Smith on the outside.
Look at this, Zach. The 2-car tandem right there. Looks like Zorlin's going to peak a little bit. They're going to try to break away here. But Trey Smith's getting a big run. He might go top to bottom like he did earlier, but Zorlin says, nah, I'm doing that first. Now, what does Trey do? He's going to follow the top. He's going to stay in the middle. He'll go down. Clear by 2. How about that?
Yeah, Sorlin, it looked like he checked up at first, and then he made the move to the inside of Flickinger in the turn one. Now Baranowskis will come flying up on the outside to help Adam Flickinger. Those two have raced together in Jerky Pro before when Adam was down in the series. Different manufacturers as Sorlin will clear Adam, coming to what is 8 to go. They are mostly double file at the front, Vince. Jack Holton, who started last, is leading the middle right now, trying to race his way in. But remember, Vince, we had just 8 Go or Go Home cars in duel number 1. We've got 14 in this one.
Yeah, I was saying in the pre-race, this is the stacked duel because we have too much desperation and we got a lot of big names. We got Oskin, we got Zorlin, Terminator. I mean, a lot of people here are really just learning, even though it's not going to be I don't think it's going to be a night Daytona race. It's still good to get out there for the first time this season and spice it up. As you see, looks like Henry Sanford also is there.
Yeah, pending a quote-unquote rain delay, the Jerky Pro race will be the only other nighttime race this weekend.
How about James Ellison from back to the front? Yeah, we definitely are starting to see a little bit more racier now. We're starting to get more tire wear. That's when things get dangerous, I have a feeling.
Well, they have definitely been rubbing the wall a lot more in this duel race than they were in the first one. Henry Sanford's going to clear to the race lead. As Ellison, Roy Ribbleton, Reggie Fogelman on the inside line. Lane Sanders is down there, Vince.
Yeah, there's a Kukulon, the teammates. There we go.
Oh, there it is, Vince. RJ Bishop, Sameta Austin, they've been chilling at the back for the last 10 laps. To the bottom lane they go. In preparation if there's another 4-wide situation. Haha. I can rhyme.
Only thing I will... there you go. My man spinning bars right now. But no, listen, the only thing I will say about this race compared to the last one is, well, just as I say, Kukulon wants to peek the nose. We're not seeing as many peek the noses as we're getting a trade-off or hitting the wall. As you see, he'll go to the outside there. It's Ribbleton.
Ribbleton jumps all the way from the bottom to the top. Excuse me. Ellison looking to still lead the middle. He is currently doing so. Fogelman's going to take the lead. Coming to 5 to go.
Mr. Where did he come from? Can't qualify. Kukulon and Sanders on the bottom. This could be a good combo.
What would it mean for Richard Childress Racing to sweep the duel races? Remember, the 31 won all the way back in 2017, the first duel race that year. We had Deaver win the first duel race this year. So Richard Childress Racing, Vince, I didn't realize it until just now. They were the first team to get 2 duel wins as a team. And now you've got Kukulon and Lane Sanders. One of them could potentially start in row 2 alongside their teammate.
You know, Zach, I just thought of something. Gatlin Downey, I believe, ran that car as a special car in the Pigs Creek race. He was fast.
Yeah.
So that 31 has some plate-esque package speed today.
3 laps to go. Actually, no, it's 4 to go still. Never mind. Can't count again. Ribbleton with a good run off the top. Now Kukulon's in the middle. Sanders on the bottom is leaving a little bit of a gap. Will Christian Russell make it a 4-wide move?
Not so fast yet. Now, what does Fogelman do? And Ribbleton, they're going to 2-car tandem this to the front.
Henry Sanford clears on the top. Right now, it looks like the bottom and the middle can't get anything going. Here comes Henry Sanford for S3 Motorsports. Remember, we had a rookie win a duel race last year. That was Colt Hudson. Will another rookie get a duel win this year? 3 to go. Kukulon still leading the middle. Lane Sanders on the bottom now behind Trey Smith. As far as the go home drivers go, right now would be Fogelman, Smith, Ribbleton, and Sanders. They're the top 4. And all 4 of those guys need to race their way in if they want to make the field. Sanders is going to make it 3 wide to the inside of Smith. He'll have help from Onjak and Bishop.
I'm Wayne Sanders. I play this cool. Just stay behind. He's going to go for the lead, though. He pushes Henry up high. Here we go.
Pushes Henry up the track. Henry's running the top. Lane stays low. He's got Smith with the run in the middle. 2 to go.
Got a fast RJ Bishop, too, and Peter Onjak. Those guys know what they're doing. I think Lane's in the best position to win this race if he plays his cards right. But what does Mr. Gangster Onjak do? And can RJ peek the nose for, looks like third?
How about Samet Oskin, who stayed at the back the entire race? Vince has creeped his way up to the front. Sanders jumps up to the top.
Does he have help? He's got some help from Henry. Now here comes Peter Onjak on the low side. He's got RJ. And there's Oskin, Mr. Playing it cool to the white flag. Here we come.
And we've got go or go home drivers on that inside line. If you are going to make this race, you better get a run on the top. White flag is in the air. 3 wide at the line for Onjak, Smith, Lane Sanders. To the spectator camera we will go. Christian Russell's in the middle. Owen Miles is on the bottom. Vargas is on the bottom. Fogelman on the top. Lane Sanders will get the run down the back straightaway. Smith could not jump up in front of him. Smith with the edge. Down the back into turn 3 they go. It's going to be a 3 wide finish. Sanders is practically even with Trey Smith. Off of turn 4. Here they come. Sanders, Onjak with the edge. It's going to be a 3 wide photo finish. And I don't know who got it.
I think Smith got it.
They're saying Trey Smith won this race.
Oh, that's a finish for the ages right there, man. You got to put that in the old freeze.
1/1000th of a second. Tying the all-time closest finish that we saw back at Auto Club in 2020 in the Jerky Pro Truck Series. It can't get any closer than that, Vince, and it went green from start to finish.
That was a hell of a fly right there, man. You got to give props to RJ Bishop for pushing. RJ Bishop and whoever was pushing Trey, and I think Lane had Henry. What a great job. They definitely secure the win in terms of if we're going to go like a tandem style. But, man, Trey Smith, I mean, he knows what he's doing. I mean, he was in the Joe Gibbs car last year, and he knows how to get it done at these plate races. Good sneaky driver right there.
What a finish. I mean, my man. I thought Lane Sanders had a chance. 7/1000ths behind the 36 he was.
You know what hurt Peters at? I think looking back, we might have to take a replay of that, but I think RJ just peeking the nose a little bit might have got him a little aero loose, not by much, and it allowed Trey Smith to get some of that aero push and help him. But, man, that's a heck of a finish right there. I can't believe it.
Trey Smith will get to start 4th in the Daytona 500. Also racing their way in, Lane Sanders, Christian Russell, and Owen Miles by 7/1000ths over Fogelman. Which means getting in on time will be the 1 of Audra Baranowskis, the 42 of Christian Vargas, and it works out for her. Priya McShane will be the last one to make the race on time. Yeah, Vince, I mean, wow, let's just take a quick step away and we'll be back with a photo of that finish. Maybe a slow-mo. Taking a slow motion replay at this one, ladies and gentlemen. You see Onjak on the bottom, Trey Smith the middle, Sanders on the top. 203, 205, 204 miles an hour into turn 3. All at different speeds. We go to spectator. There you see you're talking about Bishop peeking the nose, Vince. We might have had a 4 wide finish for a second there. If Onjak slid up and gave Bishop the lane, we could have had a 4 wide finish, and then they probably would have wrecked after the start-finish line.
All's good, though, as long as you pass that finish line now. But it might have affected Peter, though, because, like I said, he's sliding up, and his center of gravity is going towards Smith, which in reality would actually hurt Smith on exit, but he gets a nice run coming to the middle. You'll see that. Now, look at Lane. He's going to swerve down, try to pull some of that draft off of Trey, and then he goes back to the outside. Some of his compatriots in that line are probably going to sniff the wall, which they do. And now look at Peter. He's going back a little bit towards Trey. And I know it's a little slow here, but I think he just doesn't arc it enough. And now it starts to Constantine up right about when we get to that white line you'll see on your video screen. right there. They make the turn. They're all about equal. But Peter goes a little bit, he turns the wheel a little bit down towards that yellow line. Trey Smith's getting help from his teammate, ironically.
Trey Smith has
And
the lead at this point, by the way, going into the tri-oval. Lane Sanders is the one closing the door the most.
oh, look at this.
We will go all the way into slow motion here. And he just... Oh, barely. You can barely see it.
I can barely tell that.
And then behind them, Owen Miles was on the inside with Kevin in the middle with Fogelman to the top. And I think Fogelman scuffed the wall. If he didn't scuff the wall, I think Fogelman makes that race. Or makes the race. I guess you should say not make that race.
That was wild, man. That was wild.
Let's see if we can avoid crashing the game here to get a freeze frame. That is...
Oh, my goodness.
That is the best we are gonna get for you here. But you can see it. Trey Smith, man, just by an edge. Got it done. Remember, all these drivers have to start on the outside lane, but except for those that get in on provisional speed, but you know, that goes in order. But this is by far the best finish I have seen in a long time, Vince, and it wasn't even for points.
I think the best finish since Milano last year when we had that crazy race. But
yeah, I'd say this was the best finish since Milano. And then, of course, as far as the margin of victory goes, second time it's ever been 1/1000th of a second. Only other time being the 2020 Jerky Pro Auto Club race. That was between James Ellison and Carter Friesen. But Daytona,
promo shot right there.
Daytona is known to give the crazy finishes or the close finishes, and they gave us another one here tonight. So that will do it. And there's a nice overhead shot. Yeah, you can see it a lot clearer there, looking at the bumpers of the 36, 37, and 31. But those are the kinds of runs the middle and the top line are going to get in the race, Vince. And I hope we have a full pack of cars at the end of the 500 to potentially see a finish like this one, because I will be screaming if we have that happen.
And we all should be. Fans will love that one.
Thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, on this amazing night. We will see you guys tomorrow night for the NRSL Jerky Pro Truck Series season opener. Audra Baranowski is going to look to start the year off strong to defend her title. And then we'll see you guys Saturday afternoon for the Daytona 500. And yeah, I'm ready, Vince.
I think there's only one thing to say, man. We are signing off.